start in the middle.
AJ, when you saw Meadows' ball hit the right field foul pole, did you think that would be a good omen for you?
Well,
once, considering the last time that happened.
Baseball can be incredible. Baseball can be cruel. Baseball, I'll take the good parts. I mean, I obviously have history on something like that, but that was just the beginning. It felt like that was going to be the biggest play of the game. And we had just gotten started. The game turned a couple different times after that, so it's much better to be on this end of the foul pole than the other.
I know you had like 5 years between playoff games after what happened in 2019, but how hard was it to come to grips with that team coming that short, that year?
I mean, I think this is about the Tigers. I think this is a young group celebrating in our clubhouse. In what was an incredible series for us, and a microcosm of our season. I mean, we've come from behind, we have fought, we have played 27 outs, like all the things that a manager can be proud of. Our team exemplifies. So I think getting this group, getting their buy-in, getting their trust, getting their willingness to do anything allows us to make a ton of decisions during the game to win the game. So I appreciate the connection between my past, but this is about our team and the Tigers.
Go to the second round, Jason.
AJ, how much did your pitching order go to plan, and how much did you have to improvise?
I mean, when I said chaos, I meant it. We had Hannafy up in the first. I mean, really all we were planning on that we knew what was going to happen was, was Holton to Hannafy. And after that, we needed Hannafy to be good. He got one of the biggest outs of the game that we won't talk about now. I'll talk about it, is the Hayward at bat that allowed him to stay in the game and get to Altuve by getting out of that inning scoreless, which sets up Herder to enter for the two lefties. Now, they're two of the best lefties in the league, but that set us up in the order with as long as Hannafy could go with all the good at-bats that they put up against him. So, after that, it was read and react, and then you look up and you still got 9 outs to go. And I know I put Jackson in a really tough spot. They really didn't hit him hard. They clip him on the cutter inside. It hits Caratini. Pena shows, some fight and fights a ball to center field, and we don't field the bunt and get an out, and all of a sudden, the building was loud and things were going. We were really only going for 5 at-bats for Jackson to get to Guenther against Tucker. Our goal was to give those two lefties as many different looks as we could get and try to avoid left-handed pitching on Altuve. And so the map started to write itself when the game started.
Go to the front row with Chris.
Staying on that point, the way that Guenther first got out of the previous inning, then 3 ground ball outs, I mean, that could have been a bigger, a much bigger situation for you guys if he hadn't closed out there. How he's come out of nowhere. Speaking of, with the teams, how did you see his effort?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's first off, he's come back from some adversity, and he's had to fight his way through injury. He's had to fight for opportunity. And when he got here, he's evolved as a pitcher. Our PD system, Bach and Gabe and the group in the minor leagues, harped on him about the different arsenal that he's got to use in order to get big league hitters out, not AAA hitters out, but big league hitters out. And he's changed the way he pitches, which allows him so many opportunities to get ground balls and allowed him to stay in against Bregman and Diaz the following inning and get the ball on the ground. And so I'm proud of him for staying in the mindset of always trying to get better. And listen, he wouldn't be here if he hadn't made those adjustments. I mean, that's the pitcher that he was in the past was talented, but maybe not having the arsenal that works against right-handed hitters. And with the 3-batter rule, you got to come in and get some really good right-handed hitters out, and he continues to do that.
Go in the front row with Andres.
Hey, in the same topic about the pitchers, you had a openers game today. So what's next against Cleveland? I mean, do you plan to have Maeda or Kader Montero probably in the next round?
We'll see. I mean, the beauty of winning today is now we have 2 days off before we get to the weekend. Maybe what day is it? I don't even know what day it is. I know we have a couple days off. I know that. 2 days. So, We'll have plenty of time to go through the roster and see how we attack a 5-game series as opposed to a 3-game series. The guys that are here are going to celebrate tonight. We're going to enjoy it, and we'll think about Cleveland tomorrow.
Go back to the middle.
AJ, in the 4th inning, you had a situation, they put 2 runners on, 1 out. Herder gets Pena to ground to that double play. When you look at this game, how big a moment was that, considering how Brown was dealing in those early innings and they weren't able to give him that lead to work with?
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, those are outs that, again, kind of get glossed over because of the intensity of the game and whether it's the Hayward at bat against Hannafy, whether it's a double play with Herder. And I'm glad you brought up Hunter Brown because he was incredible. Like, he came out like as high-end stuff as you're going to find. Pitching with a ton of passion and a ton of energy and a ton of plus stuff. And we had a really hard time with him. And so, we tried to grind him out and make sure that we, put up some good at-bats, maybe drive a pitch count up. I know there were a couple key walks that pushed him a little bit, but man, things were hard to come by. And so our guys that in whatever order they were going to go had to be as close to perfect as we could be, and that included those big outs at the highest leverage moments.
Go in the second row in the middle.
AJ, you mentioned buy-in earlier, and you were just sort of talking about glossing over outs, and to me they seem a little bit connected just in terms of everybody having a role. Sometimes in other sports we think of maybe football or basketball where the roles are more immediately obvious, one related to the other. How did you convince in a sport where we maybe don't think about it in the same way, and when did you first start to feel it?
I appreciate that question because I said this after when we clinched, is buy-in's not for free. Like, you got to get players to understand, the bigger goal. You got to get players to understand how we're going to maximize their strengths. You got to have players that'll give up something in order for them to, for another person to have an opportunity. And that's on the mound, it's on defense, it's certainly on offense today. So I think our players understand it's not about the player I'm taking off the field. It's not about Zach McKinstry, who I pinch hit for. It's about Andy Ibáñez's immense strength against left-handed pitching. Or it's not taking Carp off the field today. It was putting Jahen in. And if you can switch the psyche and take maybe a tick of the pride and ego out of it, anything's possible. You can make a ton of decisions that put guys in a position to be successful. And, who knows, what we're going to do. I mean, one of our things that we pride ourselves in is that we're unpredictable, and our players buy into that, leading to success. When you find some success, you win a couple series, you perform on the highest stage, that strengthens that belief that we're going to try to chase every strength we can.
Go in the back left.
Hey, AJ, just wondering if you could just take us through Andy's at-bat there. And I know it seems like we've seen this season when he fouls off some pitches, that's usually a prelude to good things to come.
Yeah, so Andy, from the beginning of the game, knew with Kikuchi in the pen, with Hader obviously in the pen, Ferguson, King, and even the way the game went yesterday, we knew they were probably going to take a shot at attacking our left-handed hitters. We had 6 of them in the lineup. And so he's just sort of waiting. He's literally pacing in the dugout. And as soon as a lefty did as much as pick up a ball, Andy's got his helmet on and he's ready, and he's looking at the iPad and being ready. So the at-bat in itself was really tough, because when you do foul those balls off, it helps your timing. It helps if you feel like you're on it. And then you're looking out there and it's Josh Hader. So you don't know if that's the only mistake you're going to get or only hittable pitch you're going to get. So he stays in the at-bat, and he was locked in. And for those that aren't around our team, that's not by mistake that he's literally on the rail with his helmet on, taking strides against a pitcher that he doesn't even know if it's going to get to his spot to hit. So I love that kid. I love how prepared he is, and I love that he stayed mentally in the mindset that he was going to get big at bats when he went through a really rough September and things weren't as heroic as they are today.
We'll go on the right to Jason.
Earlier that inning, you looked like Wenzel was getting ready to hit for Torque, and then he came back. Was that a response to them going to Hader, or was that something else?
Yeah, so they made the move first when we were going to Hader, which allowed me to leave Torque in, and then that got Andy to hit for McKinstry. So Torque's at bat is sort of unsung hero at bat as well by getting on base and setting the stage for Andy. So Torque had, obviously would taken the base hit from Torque too, but against Presley, we were going to try to get as many lefties as we could, see if we could get a spinning breaking ball. He's throwing a lot of changeups to him. So I was thinking about that. So I was pulling Torque back to make the decision as Joe was walking out. And then when Hader came in, it changed the order in which we were going to go. I put Wenzel back on the bench, and it went Torque and Ibáñez for the two at-bats.
And, we had talked, I think, near the end of the season about, Andy having a fairly tough September. How much was his preparation and how he prepares for games key in keeping faith in him?
Yeah, his confidence is key for us, but our confidence in him, I think, is equally as important because we kept giving him those at-bats. We kept giving him this is how we've done it all year. Like, this isn't a different style because we're in the playoffs or we're chasing a win or we prepared for this from the beginning of the spring in having the meetings about how we were going to play offensively and how you were going to have to give up some at-bats for others. And I remember, I think it was a Carp that referred to Andy as the Barry Bonds against left-handed pitching. I mean, at a point this year where, managers would manage against Andy Ibáñez. They didn't want him on the field from the beginning. He had the game-winning hit, I think, the first game of the year or the first series of the year to just recently when Andy's looming and he's in a place like he is right now, he's a real threat off the bench to get the biggest at-bat against left-handed pitching.
All right, thanks for coming in, AJ.
Yep.
We'll see you in Cleveland. One more in the middle? All right.
I know you've maintained it's not about you, it's about the Tigers, but the opponent notwithstanding, for you, after being out of the game for a year and where you started with this franchise in 2021, how sweet or satisfying is this for you today?
Yeah, this is what you play for. Baseball's great. Like, it's going to lead you in down so many different holes, rabbit holes, and mental, the mental grind of the season and putting it all together with this group for this team, and not just being satisfied getting to the playoffs, but winning a playoff series and getting to go play a familiar team. I'm forever grateful being a Detroit Tiger.
Started with Andy Ibáñez. Starting in front with Chris.
Andy, I heard you say on the field that this was the biggest at-bat of your life. Can you kind of take us through, your September struggles and how you stayed confident? And we always know you're going to be ready for the at-bat, but how did you stay confident in yourself to be able to come through in that situation?
Dijiste antes en el terreno que este quizás era el turno más importante de tu carrera. A pesar de las dificultades en septiembre, ¿cómo te mantuviste confiado de que este iba a ser un resultado para ti, un buen turno para ti?
Sí, septiembre fue, ¿sabes? Un mes difícil, ¿sabes? Como todos sabemos, no pude producirle ayuda al equipo a ganar, pero nunca me rendí, ¿sabes? Siempre estuve positivo y tengo que darle las gracias primeramente a Dios y a los coaches, a los hitting coaches que siempre me están ayudando y a mis compañeros de equipo.
I know that September was not the most productive month for me, but I know I just gotta trust myself, and I'm grateful for first of all, God, second of all, my coaches and my teammates who supported me all the way down until having a good result like today.
Go Andres in the second row.
Andy, felicitarte primero por clasificar a la serie divisional y quería preguntarte, mira, 4 temporadas en Grandes Ligas, 31 años ya para ti, viniendo de Cuba, ¿alguna vez imaginaste esta situación para ti de ser el héroe de una serie comodín contra el equipo que probablemente sea el mejor en los últimos 10 años en postemporada y ser el héroe para estos Tigres de Detroit que están en reconstrucción y que lo hacen de la mejor manera clasificando a una serie divisional?
No, nunca, si te soy sincero, nunca me lo imaginé, ¿sabes? Nunca imaginé un momento como esto y menos jugar aquí en Houston un playoff, tú sabes, que durante los 4 años que llevo en Grandes Ligas siempre me ha tocado verlo por el televisor y estar viviéndolo hoy yo creo que es una bendición, tú sabes. Esta mañana hablé con mi amigo Adoli, que, ¿sabes? Es como el papá de Houston y entonces me dio como que fuerza para seguir, ¿sabes? Esta mañana me animó mucho.
Regarding the question about coming out of Cuba, have you ever thought about the opportunity and the possibility just to be the hero in a game which the team clinches to the next series? And Andy's answer is that never, ever. I mean, I've been in the big leagues for a couple of years, and every time I just watch the Astros on TV, And funny thing, this morning I talked to my buddy Adolis Garcia, who owns the Astros, and he gave me some tips, and he was happy for this.
Go to Jason in the second row.
Andy, how early in the game did you start preparing yourself mentally or even swing-wise for Hader? And how early in that at-bat did you feel like you had him timed up?
¿En qué momento del juego te estás preparando para Hader, imaginándote que te ibas a enfrentar contra él, y cómo ya estabas ready para eso?
Yo creo que yo estaba ready desde el segundo inning. Ahí está Guenther que no me deja mentir. Yo le dije, vámonos para el Key, que ¿sabes? Que en cualquier momento van a traer un zurdo y nos van a dar la oportunidad a nosotros. Y del segundo inning me fui para allá, para el Key, y ¿sabes? Vi los videos, estaba estrechándome allá. Y gracias a Dios en el octavo inning me trajeron y pude conectar ese doble para ganar el juego.
I was getting ready from the second inning itself, and here is Wenzel who can certify that, because we were talking about it in the dugout and say, let's go to the cages, let's get ready, because at some point in the game we're going to bring some lefty, and both of us are going to have the opportunity to play. So, and we get to the cage, and I was ready from that moment.
Go on back to Cody.
Andy, did you know off the bat that your ball was going to land fair, and what did you think when you saw it hit the grass?
Cuando supiste en el momento del que hiciste contacto con la bola, de que iba a ser un batazo bueno, ¿y qué pensaste cuando la pelota cayó buena y seguías corriendo por la base?
Que yo quería que entraran las carreras. Que yo decía, entra. Y cuando llegué a tercera, tú sabes, vi a todos los fanáticos de Detroit y al equipo muy contento. Y creo que eso me tocó, ¿sabes? Yo creo que tengo que darle las gracias a Dios por esta oportunidad y nunca había un doble tan emocionante como ese.
I think as soon as I made the contact, I was just pushing for the ball to be fair, but most importantly, I was pushing for the runners on base just to go. And as soon as I got to the base, the second base, I mean, I just saw the Tigers fan on top of our dugout, and I said, well, and it was very touchy. It was a very emotional moment, and I'm very happy and proud of this.
Go on the back, right, Jeff?
You mentioned the coaches. How did the coaches help you prepare, even through different points this season, to prepare you for this moment?
Hablas de los coaches. ¿Qué tan importante ha sido el trabajo de los coaches para prepararte durante la temporada para momentos como este?
Yo creo que mucho, tú sabes, mucho, porque siempre ellos saben la situación en que yo vengo a jugar, ¿sabes? Mayormente cuando vienen los pitchers zurdos, y ellos siempre me están mandando los videos de los zurdos. En el iPad estamos siempre, ¿sabes? A cualquier detalle que ellos vean, ellos me lo dicen y tienen mucho mérito, tú sabes. A mí me ha ayudado, por lo menos en lo personal, me han ayudado muchísimo.
They have a huge merit because, you know, all the time they are sending videos through the iPad that we see, and as soon as they notice something, they immediately they just come to me and show it. Hey, this is what this guy is doing. Just put an eye on that. And they've been very helpful, and they've been very supportive of everything that we've done, and I'm grateful for them.
We'll go in the second row, Jason.
Andy, what is it about this team that after, you know, Houston taking the lead like that, you guys face the heart of their bullpen and put together good at-bat after good at-bat and bounce back like nothing had really happened?
¿Qué opinas de este equipo de los Tigres de Detroit? Sabiendo que apenas hicieron la carrera arriba, sacaron el abridor al rato después y vino la parte fuerte del bullpen de ellos y pusieron buenos turnos al bate uno tras otro.
Yo creo que, ¿sabes? Tenemos muy buenos jugadores, ¿sabes? Los muchachos jóvenes son muy buenos jugadores, y yo creo que lo que nos ha ayudado es la unión que tenemos en el dogado y en el clubhouse, que todos no nos damos por vencidos, tú sabes, seguimos ahí trabajando, y aunque la gente no crea en nosotros, ahí están los resultados.
You know, first of all, we have good players down here, and most importantly, we have this connection, this togetherness that makes us like a band of brothers all together supporting one another, and we push it for each other and keep working all the time just to get the results, regardless that nobody was rooting for us, regardless that nobody was putting us in the playoffs in a good spot. We didn't care. We just put a hard work just to make the results come.
Go on the back right.
Hola, buenas tardes, en español.
Okay.
Pregunta, ¿qué fue el común denominador del equipo hace 2 meses atrás que inició esa chispa y llegaron a la postemporada?
Yo creo que como vuelvo a repetir, tú sabes, yo creo que la unión que nos ha caracterizado de estar ahí todos juntos en la jaula a la hora de fildear, y creo que nos animamos uno con otro, ¿sabes? Tenemos días buenos, días malos, pero el ánimo que tenemos entre todos es lo que nos ha ayudado a ganar.
regarding the question about what has been key for this team just to get the results, and this answer is, again, as I just said a couple of minutes ago, togetherness, this union that we have, this camaraderie we have with one another. As soon as we hit the field, we just want pushing for each other, and that's has been the key for have a good environment down there in the clubhouse and in the dugout as well, just to get the results, the good results we're having.
Andy, congratulations. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and start in the front.
Sean, in that critical moment, are you thinking ground ball, potential double play, or do you just think any way to get through this batter?
Yeah, it's any way to get through the batter. The ground ball is ideal. I think that's kind of what my job is in that role, is to go in there and it's left on left. Go try to get him on the ground soft somewhere, and that's kind of my role. That's what I want to do, and it's just I have all the trust in the world in our defense to turn that thing, which always helps. Going in the zone against good hitters, trying to get that ground ball.
Go on the right, Jason.
I know AJ called it pitching chaos coming in, but the way the Astros lineup set up, did you go into the game thinking, okay, I got to get ready for Tucker and Alvarez specifically?
Yeah, absolutely. With Hinch as a manager, you're almost guaranteed that when you go into a game as a bullpen guy, you're going to be in a matchup for you, right? And so you walk in on, I walk in on my lefties every time I'm looking at a lineup, and then guy before and guy after any major pocket. That's where I spend a majority of my focus, so to speak. So today it was taking a good hard look at Altuve, taking a good hard look at Bregman, and I think it was McCormick after Hayward. And just kind of if you go in to get that guy, there's other guys in the lineup, right, that maybe aren't the most favorable matchup for you. So it's having a plan that if I'm coming in the game, if AJ's putting me in the game, it's going to be to get those guys and the guys around them. So to answer your question, yeah, on a good controlled chaos day, it's lock in on the small pocket and make sure you have it dialed.
Were you aware of the noise, the crowd noise as you were coming in, or are you pretty good at blocking that?
My biggest concern, honestly, was make sure I could hear the pitch come. To be completely honest with you, I knew it was going to be loud. This place is famous for being loud, and it's 1:30 games, and it is decibels. It is loud, and we kind of went into it expecting that. We were told this place gets loud. So after a couple warm-up pitches, Raj made sure I could hear the pitch come, and once I could hear that, and I knew I could hear it, then you kind of can take the crowd out of it a little bit and just go try to execute pitches.
Go back to Evan in the front.
Have you had any chance to reflect on just how wild the last 6 weeks have been, not for the team as a whole and for you personally?
I try to, and then once I feel like I have a grasp on it, we do something else incredible. To a certain point, yes. I think I'm probably just now getting over the clinch, and now give me another couple days and I'll probably start processing this one. But
as one of her family and friends that maybe 6 weeks ago were logging on the MILB TV to watch your games, and now are seeing you on national TV and big moments, what kind of feedback are you getting from them?
It's been such a blessing to have so many people in my life reach out and tell me to keep going, and I've been lucky enough that my fiance's been able to travel a ton. My parents were able to be here this series, which was just incredible. I've had old high school teammates and coaches come out, and lots of texts from everyone. So it's been really, really cool how much people from my life have reached out supporting me, and I'm incredibly grateful for that.
Go to Sean in the middle.
Hi, AJ talked a little bit earlier about buying and setting aside a little bit of ego and pride in a certain kind of way. What were those conversations like? And when he talked about trying to figure out how to put a team together and do some things that are maybe a little bit unconventional, and that would require different kind of sacrifices from maybe what a lot of players are used to. I'm just curious what you think of all that.
Yeah, I think with this team, it comes down to two things. It's trust and belief. If you can trust that you're being put in the right spots, and you believe like like the staff does. You believe that you're the guy for that job. Then it just becomes pretty black and white. It becomes, can I just do my job and help us win this ball game? You have to trust that you're there for the right reasons, and you got to believe that you're good enough to get the job done. And those are things that we reiterate every day. Lots of affirmation, lots of support, and we're taken care of. And it's a tough job, it always is. But when you're getting set up for success, you can go succeed.
Go again with Sean.
Part of that idea of just, can I do my job and do my job, that is it accepting that job is going to change day to day and week to week and in ways that are also a little bit new?
Yeah, so I think controlled chaos is the apt term for it. It's a great way to describe it. Coming in today, I didn't know if I was going to go into that lefty pocket in the third or the eighth or whenever. I just had to stay ready and, when my name was called, be ready to go. And I think that's kind of a microcosm of our entire team. You have guys who might not be starting the game, but they know they're going to get a big at-bat. You have, long relief starter, bulk ending guys like Brant Herter, who it's like, I know I'm throwing today. I know I'm going to throw meaningful innings today. When is that coming? And I think everyone across the board on this team has done just such a great job of buying in to just stay ready and stay ready to go. So.
Anything else? All right. Thanks for coming in, Sean.
Of course. Thanks, guys.